Hi, it's Sarah Barry from stampwithsarah.co.uk. Today I'm showing you how to make a cute little treat holder for the Dairy Milk Chocolate Freddo. Now the Freddos measure just under 3 inches by just under 1.5 inches, so they're nice and small to package up for perhaps you have children that want to give a gift at school to their teachers, to their friends, perhaps neighbours with children. They're ideal because they're fairly cheap and you can decorate and package them up really beautifully. So I've started with a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock, and you can see I've cut this square on my trimmer, which is 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches, and you can get 2 out of this A4 sheet. So that's it for the trimmer. You'll want to bring in your scoreboard. And place it up in the top left corner. So you'll want to score at 1/2 inch. Which can be tricky up in that top corner because you haven't got a lot to hold on to. But 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, and then 4. So what we've done here is the sides and then the front and the back. Then turn your cardstock 90 degrees and you want to score at 2 and then 4. Alright, that's it for the scoring. So this is basically what we've created. We want to chop out these sections and cut up here. So take your scissors and we get rid of this side, this flap, this corner, up these 3 lines to that first score line, and then we're chopping off all of this here. There we go, like so. So next you'll want to take the scallop tag topper punch and place your the longest side here up into the punch. Turn it over and you can see that we want to line up with this middle point so we get our tag even. Now this is going to create little hanging that we can hang on to a tree, to an advent calendar. This is optional, you don't have to do the scallops, but I quite like it. I quite like to add this little ribbon hanging onto it. Alright, now you can, for the next stage you can have, you can use wet glue, you can use a tape. I'm using our tear and tape. Make sure you fold up on all of these score lines. The tear and tape I like because it's quick and simple. You don't need scissors, just pull your length that you need. Make sure you remember that this, obviously this is the back and this will come over and become the front. So you don't want to put any glue in the wrong place. You don't want to have it like that because we want a nice neat edge, and that would just slip in like that. So the edge is towards the back of the treat pouch. So just pop your tape along that edge and peel the sticky off. Like that. Okay. And then the reason for cutting off this flap, if we didn't cut that off, you would get 3 of these little tabs. You'd get 2 this side and 1 there. So obviously we don't need that 3rd bit, so that's why we've chopped that off. You'll want to fold up from the fold these in, fold up from the bottom or the back, and fold that down that's coming down from the front. Again, just use a bit of the tear and tape. I love this. It seems to hold all of the boxes perfectly fine. And these probably won't last long because they've got chocolate in them anyway. But the tape does its job. If I have too much, like I have here, that's alright. I'm not too worried about that. What you can do is fold it back on itself, like that. And that will just go fold like that. Alright, so that's basically our little treat holder, and then the Freddo fits beautifully in there. And then we hang it up. So we're going to do some decoration. On these samples I've made previously, I've done 2 little green ones. These are shaded spruce, and now this is the Poppy Parade. So we need to cut a piece of pattern paper just to cover the front, and that pattern paper needs to measure 1 1/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. Now I found out my Santa's Workshop pattern paper, which is what I've used at the back here. If you're very quick, we still have some of this left. This matches the Santa's sign, I think it's called. Stamp set. Let me see if I can see it on my shelf. I can't see it on my shelf, which probably means I popped it back in the wrong place. Here we go. Signs of Santa. So the little elf, the little boy elf is this one, and we are stamping him again today, but there is a little girl elf, because I know that because she's got little bits of hair tucked behind her ears. Santa, Mrs. Claus, some presents, a little truck for the presents to sit in, a nice sign. The 2 in the from are useful on tags. But yeah, I love this stamp set, and the dies we're using coordinate with that. So this paper, as I said, is very limited stock. I'm going to use this tree. Let's see if I can find a little scrap. Here we go. This will do. Just pinch that. So it needs to be, what did I say, 1 3/4 tall by 1 1/4. So it's only a tiny piece, really. And to glue that down, I'm using the wet glue, which is Tombow. And it fits quite nicely on there. That will just take a little while to dry. I've splodged a little bit. There we go. Okay, now for the decoration, I've got a piece of gold foil and then the 1 3/8 of an inch scallop circle punch. I would just have enough on there. The little stamp is the little elf, and I'm going to stamp him in the Memento black. There we go. Now the little die set, because these are all the dies. They don't come in a case like this, they come in a wallet, but for ease at class I've just popped them into a case. This is the little die that goes with it, and I'll just run that through my big shop. It is useful to have the magnetic platform so your dies won't move while they're going through the machine. And now we're going to be doing some colouring in with our blends. We just need 3 colours for this elf. And those colours are Mango Melody for his little belt buckle, Shaded Spruce for his hat and his clothes, and then we've got Petal Pink. We've got dark, dark and a light here. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see. I'm going to start off by colouring his hat. I'm not really doing any shading on this, I'm just using the one colour because the pens come in a light and a dark, and that's where you want to use both and do some shading really, but I'm just using the one colour. There we go. Now his belt buckle in Mango Melody Dark. And then to finish off, it's really quick and easy, is his little hands with the Petal Pink, his ears, and his face. Don't colour in his eyes, leave those white. And there he is. You can give him some cheeks. If you keep going, keep adding colour in little circles, you give him a little face like this here. Okay, so he will go onto a foam pad. Can't pick him up. Just one, you don't need any more than that really. Pop him down. Another one. And then it fits really nicely on the front of there. Now to finish, we just add some ribbon, and I've got the Poppy Parade, which matches the cardstock. And this is the Poppy Parade textured weave ribbon. You can thread it through and tie it like this, or if you want to, you can thread it, double it up and thread it in from the back, and then loop it over like that. Depends if you're going to be hanging them on a tree. You can thread it onto a tree like that, or onto a ribbon for an advent calendar. And then I would just neaten these ribbons. There we go. So I hope you like my little Freddo treat pouch. I know my 2 boys have got their eyes on these, and this one is a little popping candy, this one's just a normal dairy milk, and then this one is a caramel. So I found them in packs of 5 in a multi-pack. So if this is something that you want to do, I mean, it's really quite cost effective to buy them like that, and just make really simple little holders for them. If you wanted to, you can add on a to and a from message on the back using the stamps from the Signs of Santa, the to and the from. Just cut a piece of white like that, leave a border, and you can put to and from. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me and I will help you. Thanks so much. Bye.